What's cracking, guys? Bruce Madsen here, your host of Metric Scout Fantasy Football, and today we're going over 3 wide receivers you should be looking into buying in your Dynasty Fantasy Leagues. Guys to trade for, to try to get on the cheap. So what I did was look through the average draft position, the ADP, over at DynastyLeagueFootball.com, and I found 3 wide receivers who are being undervalued, whose stock fell in startup drafts, giving us the indication that these players might have fell off in market value a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe they're holding steady. Possibly in your league, we may not be able to sneak away with a trade offer, but it's always good to try. It's always good to kick the tires, see what you can get from these players. And with that being said, let's look into our 3 wide receivers we're looking to trade for. The first wide receiver I want to talk about today is Jeudy. He's fell in ADP a little bit. He's being drafted around 48 overall. Wide receiver 22, more like a back-end wide receiver 2 in Dynasty. Had a rough year this year. The Broncos offense had a rough year this year. He was still showing some flashes of life. He owned a 20% target share and 22% of the air yards. The year prior, he owned a 28% share of the team's passing air yards, and that's when he was healthy. He was dealing with an injury during most of the season and missed around 8 games, so he was in and out of lineup, probably playing through some injuries as well, playing with some bad quarterback play that impacted his ability to produce. Of course, Cortland Sutton's there. Of course, Tim Patrick got re-signed, but this team's looking for a new quarterback. If they bring in a high-end signal caller for free agency, we're looking at like an Aaron Rodgers maybe, or they draft a quarterback, his value is going to go up a little bit at least due to the speculation. So there's a chance that you could sell off from there. However, he's a first-round wide receiver who was valued highly when coming out of the draft, has shown some promise during his rookie season, had a rough year last year, but injuries played a toll, bad quarterback play played a toll in that. So we do have a narrative around why he had some poor numbers in 2021. Now the price tag is reduced, and now it's cheaper to buy in. Whether you love him or not, since he's a little bit cheaper and he's part of that wide receiver 2 bubble area where you have like 50 wide receiver 2s in the league and they jockey for a position in that wide receiver 2 area in the scoring rankings on a weekly basis. For the price tag here, for his age, he's still just 22 years old, will be 23 once we get into the season, but Jeudy could be a player that we could get on for the cheap. Another player that I'm looking at in trades right now is Marquise Brown. He's pretty cheap. According to ADP, 53.17 is his average draft position, so he's falling like 5th, 6th round area, and he's being drafted around the wide receiver 27 as a wide receiver 3. Started off really strong this year with 5 wide receiver 1 weeks, but the back half of the season really tailed off for him. Remember, bad quarterback play due to injuries. Also, the Ravens was not airing it out as much as they did during the first half of the season. And Marquise Brown, though, had a 27% target share, 35% share of the air yards, and he was 7th in the league with 2,875 air yards. So if anything, you're getting a wide receiver who can be volatile. He can be a wide receiver 3 on your fantasy team. Just don't pay up too much for him, but a guy I would kick the tires for. I wouldn't try to trade heavy for him. Like, if you're in your rookie drafts and you're not loving what's on the board, at the back half of the first round, early part of the second round, you may want to try and slip an offer for that. If you're in the middle to early part of your second round and you don't like what's there, try to submit an offer for him. You're probably going to get rejected, but there's a chance that you could get something to slide through for Marquise Brown, especially once those rookie picks start to increase in value. That's when the weird trades start to happen because people are going to start getting rookie fever, especially once people get more acquainted with the back half of the first round, early part of that second round range. So that's where you can shoot your shot. Jeudy, I don't feel like you can get that kind of value with him in trades. You're probably going to have to at minimum, spend a back-end first-round rookie pick. And at that point, you just want to see what's available in the draft and do a benefit cost analysis, whether you go for the veteran or you go for the pick. And with this being a wonky rookie draft class, I wouldn't call it as strong as some of the others. You may want to go that route, but hold on until those rookie picks reach full value. Analyze the landscape and just see what you want to do with those picks. But Jeudy, it will probably cost a little bit more than Marquise Brown, because Marquise Brown's on the Ravens. The Ravens offense with Lamar Jackson, people just automatically think run-heavy offense. Now they see Rashad Bateman. Now Antonio Brown's thinking about going there. They throw a lot of passes to the tight end. So Marquise Brown, you may be able to sneak at a price tag that's a little bit cheaper, and he is going almost 10 spots later than Jerry Jeudy is in startup drafts. Next wide receiver, I'm going after in leagues, and this guy's dirt cheap because I want to give you a dirt cheap guy. Usually in these videos, I give you 3 players, 2 guys who are well known, who slid a little bit in ADP that you may be able to get for cheap this month. You might be able to land them. More likely not, due to fantasy managers like to hold on to their players. We know how that goes in trades, but I do want to scrape the bottom of the barrel a little bit, help you guys out with some cheaper options. This month, my cheap option at wide receiver is Dynasty Brown. 156 ADP. 15th roundish, 16th roundish, depending on where he goes. Wide receiver 68. He's free. He can be the wide receiver 6 on your team. He can be on the back end of your roster. High-end prospect who's got a lot of upside. Face planted last year. A lot of weird stuff with the Washington football team, who will have a new team name tomorrow. 6% target share, 12% share of the air yards. We're going to get a quarterback improvement, or at least they're going to try to improve the quarterback. This is a player that's shown some ability in camp, showed some good things throughout his collegiate career. He's a deep ball guy, so if he's on the field, he's going to get air yards, and we're just hoping that he gets a chance. At this price point, it's really a no-lose situation. Any guy that I pick from the bottom of the barrel is really in a no-lose situation. So if you buy him and he doesn't pan out, you're not even going to think twice of it. But Dynasty Brown right now is at a much cheaper price point than compared to last year. And with him being that cheap, I'm rebuying again this year. I want more Dynasty Brown on my rosters, and I want to see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, no big deal. I'm moving on. But that's my 3 wide receivers for this month, for the month of January/February. Kind of rolled these wide receivers out a little late since we got a lot of draft content to cover here. But here it is for you. Jerry Jeudy, Marquise Brown, Dynasty Brown. The Brown brothers. They're not really related, but I had to say it. But I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters, fuels me to keep putting out this content on the daily, sometimes 2 vids a day, but it's coming at you. That's why you gotta hit that subscribe button. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.